got it for me for sure. They did a great job, but they just were like, and he's got a lot going on, and I get it. He just got engaged, and there's other shit. But I'm just like, I only got all this good footage, and I've had Jake DePizza on, Jeremy Cash.
I got
you on it.
I got DePizza on soon. Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, he's very funny.
He's
guy.
a very good comic.
All right, we're rocking. We're going. Hey, thank you for coming on, Mr. Chet.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
Keeping that Rolex off the table. Just try not to flex me too hard. Dude.
Oh yeah.
You got what kind of watch is that?
What kind of date just? Just a simple date just fluted bezel.
Dude, that's dope.
Jubilee bracelet. Nothing
so
crazy.
sick.
What is that? A Casio?
Oh yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
There's only one of these like it in the world.
Which one is it?
It's freaking. It's got buttons on.
They have the illuminator feature.
This has the alarm on it.
Yes. Is it the silent alarm?
No.
Okay.
It's so loud. It used to go off every hour on the hour because I didn't know how to turn it off. So every hour it would just buzz.
I was looking at it. I actually just got back from Japan. Huge flex, I know, but I was trying to.
Oh yeah, dude.
I was trying to figure out a good Japanese only Casio model because I like watches and both Casio, the other one too, G-Shock. They're all kind of. Seiko. They're all like they have some Japanese exclusive ones, but I think John Maggs told me about this. You can get the Casio ones that have a silent alarm, but they don't sell them in Japan.
And they buzz.
Yeah, they buzz.
So they just buzz you. That's pretty cool.
And that's what I want because, Rolexes are terrible at telling time. That's
very funny. That is very true.
That's not what they're known for.
That's why I got because I got my dad got me like a fake. Yachtmaster Rolex.
Okay,
it just
Rolex?
looks good. It looks good.
Hey, where did he get a fake one from? That's hilarious.
TikTok.
Oh, that's so funny.
My dad watched a TikTok about.
I mean, it
Rolex.
probably does look good, and I would imagine no one
good.
could tell.
You could tell.
I probably could tell. Yeah. But I mean, I bought a $10 Casio when I was there because I just like watches, and it's not practical. First of all, I'm not gonna fucking wear this to a show. Like everyone's gonna hate me,
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
It's hard to be rich and likable. That is something that's very funny.
It's not. It's so hard. I tried to write stuff. I'm like, you know what it's like when your sauna breaks down, and people are like, no. What? That's not relatable.
Actually, it's very funny.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Man, don't you hate it when your freaking tenants are just running around acting like they own the place? I own the place.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, rich guy comedy would be the best, dude. That's what you should do.
And I tried to
just go make fun of poor people. That's the best.
And I was like, look, if anyone shouldn't be in trouble for punching down, it should be me. I'm literally 5 feet tall. You know what I mean? I don't get any passes. Come on.
It is very funny. It's like it's like you are like the enigma of the question. It's like, okay, would you rather have a lot of money, have a sauna in your house?
I'm the bad ultimatum of just existing.
Yeah.
Or be stuck being this height.
Or would you rather be a freaking 6'2" idiot like me, dude?
I mean,
most people I think they pick Chet. I think they pick Chet.
It is really hard, in some ways, thinking about dating. In some ways, if I had to be back on the apps, I'm glad I'm not. But even in Denver, you'd be paraplegic, and people would be like, "Oh, but he's paraplegic. I need to love him." No one has that love for a 5 foot tall person. No one's like, "Oh, but he's only 5 feet tall." It's in my heart. I should be kind to him.
So your plan is to go make yourself become paralyzed. That's a good plan.
To be shorter. I'm actually at the height where I am the shortest, probably non-short person, if you can, because I'm at 5 feet
non-little person.
Non-little person.
Okay.
Yeah, non-little person. Because
your jokes about it are very, very funny.
Anyone in the there's not too many people in the 4 feet. It's kind of I'm at the bottom at 5 feet, or there's 3 feet. But there's not many 4 feet people. Because that would be a weird grace period, or not grace period.
Yeah, we had these wrestlers that were on our high school team. Their mom was 4'11". It was wild because I'm a big boy, just freaking tower over that lady.
And that was something that we share in common because I was a big wrestler.
Wrestling, dude.
Yeah,
oh yeah, man.
And I would have to
what state did you wrestle in?
New York.
New York.
I made it to States in New York.
That's awesome.
96 pounds. But it was D2, and I would have to.
96 pounds. I wrestled 196.
You wrestled 196
in high school. Yeah,
you were a big boy,
dude. I still am a big boy, dude. I weigh
196 was what you were wrestling. I had to suck weight, but I weighed like 105, and it.
Then you cut down.
You
to
don't
96.
like people don't understand the trauma and like the stress of like a 9th grade person having to lose 10 pounds like in days.
We're just giving ourselves eating disorders.
For sure. It was like I would like stare at the food channel and be like, if I run around a lot, I could probably eat this piece of candy that's only like 60 calories and be okay, Did you have garbage bags that you had to wear, the sweatsuits?
I had to lose weight one time, and because it was before we did this.
You didn't have to cut too much at 196, I'd imagine.
No, I had to cut like 7 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was after Thanksgiving break because you had a pound allowance, and then I was
the pound allowance was great. It was great. Yeah, we had a 2-pound allowance.
Holiday, yeah, it was like holiday weight. So
yeah,
I was, and then I was like 7 pounds over like the original weight, so I had to lose 5 pounds. And then so I like go and I wrestle, and like they're like coaches like you gotta lose it, you gotta, and I'm like okay. So I like go and they sit me in between the 2 twins on our team. And then I sit in the center. I'm wearing like 9 different coats. I'm running around wrestling. I'm spitting in a cup, right? I go pee.
The cup spitting.
Right, and then like we're about to weigh in, and my coach is like, "Hey, Jason," I was like, "Yes, coach." He's like, "You got to go wring out your underwear." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Wring it out. Get
that drop." You would have to drop.
And then I was under 0.1. I barely made weight. I was 0.1 under.
Did they give you a grace for dropping, or you had to drop?
What do you mean dropping?
Like when you're weighing in, did you have to like be like, well,
was I naked?
My boxers are 0.2. Would they be like, all right, we'll take off the 0.2, or they're like, you drop?
No, I don't think they. I think they would say no.
That you just have to take off the boxers, right?
No, you couldn't even take off your boxers.
They made you keep your boxers on. Oh, we could take off the boxers, and sometimes the coaches would be like, I'm not just. I'll mark you the 0.2.
Like, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. Like we know how much boxers.
My underwear weighs 5 pounds. My underwear.
They wouldn't let you drop the boxers. Okay, that was interesting. One time.
Yeah, never saw that.
I made it to states a kind of back end way. So I came in second in the section, and I got the wild card. Actually, I don't even know if I got the wild card. I think the guy who came in first got hurt.
You just snuck in.
I snuck in, but at that time I didn't know, so I sucked a lot of weight. So I was eating, drinking. I gained 19 pounds in 2 days. As this, it was water weight, but as of this person, and I just didn't go to states. I mean, I say I made it to states. I wrestle in states, and then they made the number 3 person. I was gonna lose 19 pounds. That'd be insane.
That's crazy. You just like as soon as you finish like your tournament, you're like, let's go freaking ham.
I was a cool kid in 9th grade because I was in varsity. I was hanging out with other kids, so I was smoking weed, drinking, and just like gaining a crazy amount of weight and partying.
Dude,
I was like,
sorry, do you mind? Oh, yeah, shaking the camera. Oh, sorry. No, good eye. Sorry, man. That's good. This is why Caleb's the best in the business. Yeah. I need to get like a fidget cube or something. I picked apart sorry, Caleb. Oh, yes. That's fucking zen me, brother. Dude, thank you.
That like keeps you focused?
Oh, yeah. No, I just like I just bounced my leg.
Oh.
Thank you, Caleb. I'm so sorry, man. Dude, yeah. I'm still getting used to podcasting. Put it from the side. Oh fuck. I'm sorry, Caleb. Okay. We're rocking. Sorry, chat.
No, you're good. But
can you grab me a Diet Coke as well, Mr. Caleb?
After wrestling, everything in life was easier.
Yeah,
that was the hardest thing I've ever done.
I'm gonna get back in. So like as soon as I get like this job at Dutch Bros, I'm doing jujitsu, man. Like I need something like that, that personal struggle that it's like you like chosen suffering.
No, I'm all right. Dude. My gym opened a branch in the Springs, actually.
Your jiu-jitsu gym?
No, but it's a weightlifting gym. It's personal training, but it's starting strength, and it's good. Like you have someone watch your heavy lifts. I recommend it.
Dude, hell yeah! Me and Caleb we're getting after in the gym right now.
We're gonna get I'm building a home gym right now. Yeah. It's not like a crazy one, but we just need one of the racks. But we got the weights and stuff because like it would be nice if we could just go downstairs and
yeah, brother,
get ripped. Needs to be more. Weightlifting communities for comics.
Definitely, man. I know a couple freaking comics that are just beasts.
The thing is, I think the more ripped I get, the funnier I'm gonna be. So I'm trying to get yoked out of my mind.
That's good.
To look hilarious, like with my stature, just and I'm making progress, but it's mostly going my ass. But like,
That's
hopefully,
good. Yeah,
go
man.
upper body.
I'm getting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bench 300. That's Jason's big goal.
I do feel like the more ripped you are, the funnier you are. I don't know. Maybe it's not the case. It probably depends
Definitely
on the
not.
comics.
You're completely wrong about that.
You think? No?
Ralphie May, hilarious.
Oh yeah, there's some comics that don't need it, but there's some comics that like.
If you suck, you should get a 6-pack. That's my advice.
You think so?
Yeah, dude. Go get hot. Go figure out a way to move tickets. Like, I don't care. Like, I know a lot of girl comics. It's like they're posting their dates, and it's like, come see me, and I'm like, this is good marketing.
Yeah.
It's like your Carl's Jr. commercial.
For sure.
I respect that. That's a good choice.
I'm trying to post more thirst traps.
Hell yeah. Come see my dates. You just check going like.
I had a few that were like, this one, I look good in this, you know? I don't know. I don't think I'm necessarily getting people for that reason, but at least it's all right.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Have you done any like the weird shows where you have to like take your clothes off?
I did the naked show.
You did the naked show?
I did the nude show.
How was it?
Great. I loved it. I feel comfortable naked. That's kind of how it is. Because usually when you're naked, good things are happening to you, right? Like you gotta feel like
that makes one of us, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. So I'm hopefully doing it again. I think it did a lot for my confidence. I'll say that like kind of transformed me a little as a comic. It made me be like, you know what, fuck it. And then I did a strip show, and it's just kind of all fun.
Yeah, I'm supposed to do one where I'm supposed to do like stand up and pasties.
Is it the rip off or something?
No, it's like the show at La Berla B. I'm supposed to do it. I'm thinking about pulling out. I was
asked to do that, but it was during Karma last month, the one in February. Macy hit me up on that.
Yeah,
it was first Sunday, and she's like, "I'll get you on a Saturday." I want to do that.
I might give you my spot, man. I'm scared. I'm just like, I'm uncomfortable. It's like weird for me.
I even have a bit like I really have reverse body dysmorphia. Like I always think I'm sexy no matter what, which is wild. It's insane.
It's
insane.
Dope,
and like I actually think it's not necessarily such a bad thing, but sometimes I'm like, am I just wrong about everything? Like, is everything kind of like
dude,
turned
you look
on
good.
its head?
Dude,
Yeah,
Chet,
I'm like, I think I look fucking great all the time.
Dude, having confidence is great, man. There's a lot of like whenever I like look at like, here's the thing. Something that inspires me is like girls that believe that they're Instagram models when they're not actually Instagram models. You know, like if they have enough confidence to post that bikini picture, I can talk to a girl. Like it's just you have to believe in yourself and just have confidence, man. Like I know me. It's like I'm a pretty funny, likable, outgoing guy. I'm starting to get bigger arms. You know, getting hot.
Yeah,
got this haircut. Not bad, right, Caleb?
The haircut's good. It's trendy, you know.
Not bad. I pull up Zach Bryan. That's
plus
I showed this to the barber.
That's a big thing, you know.
Man. You got a good set.
I got my haircut in Japan, and here's the thing.
I literally just that's a bad picture. He does not look handsome in that picture.
Oh, you have that kind of haircut.
Yeah, that's what I did. I literally just I showed them this picture. It was like, make my hair look
that's
like
a good.
Yeah, I just think it's just you got to find like your style and like your thing.
I don't have a good barber here, but I got my hair cut in Japan, and one thing I was a little self-conscious about, just being my age. I'm in my 30s. Was my hairline, and I don't know what they do in Japan, but I look like I've had the most hair that I've had in the last 10 years. Like my hairline, I think they lowered my hairline.
That's awesome.
I don't think that's an actual thing, but I looked at it. I'm like, oh, I'm not worried. I have hair now.
It's how it's styled.
Yeah,
it's huge.
It's insane.
So
you could
like,
do a lot.
because I have a pretty intense widow's peak, so
Yeah,
like the thing for me is like I just have to keep the sides really, really short, and then like you kind of can do like things like that. Because it kind
of goes over. Yeah, that's a smart thing.
Man.
You got a good barber here. That's a good thing.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go. I think we got to go get a haircut sponsor place. That'd be smart. Dude, that'd be great. Yeah, would they give us referrals? Like, we'll talk about it. Yeah, man, I'll do. Like, that's like the next big step for. I think this would be very interesting because you have a pretty good business brain, I believe. Okay, so like, let's say that I wanted to get this podcast to like make $5,000 a month in terms of sponsorships. What would you say would be like a good strategy and plan? Like, if you had to do it.
I mean, it depends because like I don't know, a female comedians, whoever you have, would want to. Ditch their place. And men too have kind of loyalty to a barber, but it is possible if you're like, hey, come get a cut right before the show if you're gonna have a barber sponsor, and then they could be like, oh, look at his hair, you know?
Yeah,
that'd be kind of tight. I mean, for me, like I'm trying to get a sauna podcast sponsor for Schwitz and Bits, you know, because sauna's
Schwitz and Bits,
big ticket item.
I would love to do. Didn't I do an episode with
you? schwitzed.
I schwitzed. We didn't record. I couldn't remember.
It
It was.
We
fun.
had a great time, but
We
yes, I
did.
will have you over. For
Dude,
that
I
for
would.
Sure. We're gonna
that sauna pod.
There's
I think I told you there's these people in my gym that did a podcast in the sauna, and like I just walked in one time when they were doing it. I was like, I'm gonna go.
I just finished a bench set. I just wanted to get a little sweat in.
I might need to go. I need to hit bench like a MF tomorrow. I'm about to get the craziest chest.
What's your routine? What are you doing?
I do chest.
Okay.
Chest and tris.
Okay.
Like I do push day, pull day, legs, pull legs. That's all me. That's all I do. And then I'm gonna start doing like my Fridays. It's just gonna be like beach body. Like,
okay.
I'm doing like hot guy exercises.
I gotta do more abs, to be honest.
Dude, it's like if you do leg raises, those are great. Also, if you can do a weighted ab crunch, it's actually good.
I used to do those all the time, and those during my wrestling days, it was like, God, I need to do
man.
weighted.
And
crunches.
also, the thing is that abs are built in the kitchen. It's not the weight room. So it's just you just got to live in a calorie deficit and like do that sort of stuff. I'm really bad because I fucking smoke pot, and I'll just go eat a freaking entire bag of Reese's Puffs. Like that's just like what I do. Do you know the rule in the podcast? We get to look at Chet's recent text messages. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's not that interesting.
No, dude. Yeah, man. Dude, you ever watch that clip of Joe Rogan when his guest is like on his phone? He's just stares at him. He doesn't say a word because the guy's just like on his phone on Joe Rogan and just.
He's like, "Who's the fucking Joe Rogan? What's going on?"
Yeah, man. Dude, so I want to talk about the show that you're producing, right? How's that going?
Well, which one?
Oh, big boy Chet. Look at that. Making moves, man.
I have 3 right now.
You got 3 rooms.
Yeah.
3
rooms.
Dude, congratulations, first of all. I know how hard it is to run and produce 1 room. And like you running 3. Is it all you or are you doing it with other comedians?
I always try to get 1 co-producer on each one. It makes it a lot easier.
You're a fucking smart business guy, man. That's smart.
And it's just so, I travel a lot. The big reason I started these rooms to get stage time to people. I mean, and I have I have spreadsheets, right, with every comic in Denver in the Springs and Fort Collins and Boulder, when I've given them stage time, when they're going to get stage time. And I'm trying to give everyone stage time once that I think is solid before I can recycle. And having various level of rooms makes it easy to give this to a good amount of people. Because I did, and I'm gonna do more. I did a Manitou Springs and a Colorado Springs takeover of both my stuff because that's a nice way to do it. But the thing is, the scene's been so great to me. If I can get people time, that's one great thing about here. Colorado is the best place in my mind for comedy. I mean,
like obviously I will always have a very Colorado always will be home to me, no matter where I'm at.
You're from Colorado,
yeah.
right?
I'm Colorado Springs, born and raised.
It is literally your home.
Yeah, like it's. There's a certain love I have for Colorado, and that I feel like it's a part of it. Just like kind of makes me who I am. It's like it's kind of. Especially because it's like you kind of realize what kind of like where your writing kind of comes from. Because I kind of wrote from a place because like New Life Church is in Colorado Springs, very conservative, like Christian, all that different stuff. That's what I was raised in. And then it's kind of like now as I'm trying to explore, like what do I believe and like what are these things and. It affects your writing, like where you're from. It's huge. Like there's a reason why Theo Von is like beloved in the South. They love him because he's just a guy. Like he did those same things. He's rolling down hills and tires, and he's doing all that stuff. And that's how I am about Colorado, man. Like I love Colorado. I love pot. Big fan. Yeah. And it's just like I love it. It's so beautiful here. The Broncos are awesome. I've been at every single Broncos AFC Championship game since I've been alive. So both of the years they went to the Super Bowl, I was at that game. I remember watching Tom Brady drive down, and I'm like, we're going to freaking lose. We're 100% going to lose. And I was scared, and me and my dad were standing there, and then I think we got an interception on the 2-point conversion because they got the 2-point conversion. They were going to be tied. Then we got this interception. Dude, just like how loud that place got and like walking around downtown, everyone's high-fiving, and I love Colorado, man.
Do you feel like it's changed a ton throughout the years?
Yeah.
For the better or the worse?
It has, man. It's just like when I talked to my dad. My dad came back and he's just like, "Holy crap! Like Whataburger is massive in Colorado Springs. There's literally like 9. How many Whataburgers are in Colorado Springs?"
I have seen a few.
Mr. Caleb, I think it's like 9.
You like it?
I love Whataburger.
What do you get there? What's the move? Because I haven't really had much Whataburger.
Oh my God, we'll go, man.
All right.
We'll go after the pod.
Hell yeah.
There is nothing on this earth I love more. Yeah, they got 3 Whataburgers, and they gotta have more than that. Yeah, 6. Did I actually get that right? I'm such a fat piece of shit, dude. Oh,
and it's
I thought
solid.
I said 6. Thank you for fact checking me, Caleb.
What's your order at the Whataburger?
All right, let me tell you. Okay, I get the patty melt.
Okay,
and I get a Dr. Pepper milkshake, and then you get the patty melt, but then you get jalapenos on there.
Okay, I like jalapenos.
And then you get extra spicy ketchup.
Oh, you want it hot?
I love it hot. And then you cut the sandwich in half because it's like a toast. It's like a grilled cheese.
Yeah. If it's
a patty melt is like a grilled cheese cheeseburger, which is genius. Whoever invented this, I believe, should be president of the United States. And then they melt it together. And then you cut it like this, so then the dipping angle of the ketchup is good. Because if you try to dip the whole
you can't dip a burger. A burger's silly, but you can dip. Yeah,
you can dip like a little triangle.
Yeah. You go angle and you kind of angle in the dipping.
100%. It's incredible. I love Whataburger so much. Probably dream sponsorship would be Whataburger for me. I would say dream sponsorships. For Jason, Whataburger, Dr. Pepper. I'm trying to think of who else would be dream sponsors of mine. Yeah, probably like the Broncos. I'm not sure if that
seems all realistic.
Those are like my 3 favorite things in the world. Yeah, dude. But yes, so you're producing these shows. What would you say is like kind of like do you kind of have the same job for all of them with your co-producer? Like your co-producer, how are you differentiating responsibilities for producing shows?
Yeah, I mean, all 3 shows are extremely different. One of them is called Kegger Comedy. It's a really fun time. We get a keg, and we get it professionally produced. The gentleman I work with, Tom, he's an aspiring comic, and he owns the place, and it's a co-working space, and it's he does shout out to him. He does a tremendous amount of work. We do a good job promoting it. We kind of promote together, and I usually host it.
So
and I book it.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. 3 rooms is impressive, man. Like I think I'm gonna start one again soon.
You should.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just like it's like I do it out of necessity when like I need stage time. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna start.
It's good guaranteed stage time.
Yeah, having guaranteed stage time every month is huge. Because also, especially for you, if you're hosting, like, hey, I gotta go figure out like 5 new-ish minutes because. If you're running a great show, you're gonna have people that are.
We have regulars. Well, Karma House is regular based. You know, they're regulars of the place, and they're regulars of Good Karma Comedy. You know, we have people who have been to almost every single installation of it, and that's dope. I mean, they love it. They're like, we come back for this event. And then we also a new room I'm running with Logan Burkholtz, great comic.
Logan's a man. I want to get him on.
We're doing twice a month at a brewery.
That's
Who's
huge.
On First Draft? Do you ever do First Draft? Deb's room?
No, I don't think so. Well, I might have. Dude, I lose track. I've done. I think there's a.
That one was in the attic upstairs, but
yes,
now,
I did.
Now there's a stage. So. There's a stage, so it's gonna be.
Was that the
really
one
cool.
with like all you self pour beer? Yes, I have.
Yeah, I figured because Deb ran it for twice a month as well. She got a lot of comics up there. I've done that too, and she was kind enough to hand it off to us.
That's so nice. Yeah. Also, Deb's freaking funny, dude.
Yeah, she's coming to Springs today actually. So
oh fuck
she'll be
that's
Oscar
great. Yeah,
Cruise.
we'll go say hi. Yeah, it's good.
We played pickleball last week. She's a homie for sure.
Dude, I would love to play pickleball with you sometime.
You should.
I would love to. That'd be very fun.
I do a ton of pickleball. I do a lot of tennis, but there's comics who played for sure.
Man. I think like having like something like outside of comedy that you can go do is good.
You gotta.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna do jujitsu.
Hell yeah.
Like I've been like I should do it, and then it's just like the money doesn't work out.
Something that makes you money, something that keeps you in shape, and something that keeps the mind sharp. You get those 3, you're good.
That's
you know,
huge,
those are the 3. You know.
comedy definitely keeps my mind sharp.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the creative outlet, and that's a beautiful thing, and that's a shared thing where you can hang out with another comic, and as long as they're like a real comic, like you could talk for days about that, because you're so passionate about it. It's nice to have that commonality.
It's pretty much like every single podcast we end up just talking about comedy for like an hour.
For sure.
It's a beautiful thing. It's one of the it's probably the hardest thing I've done, I would say.
For me, outside of wrestling number one, comedy number two, maybe, because comedy is it's tough. If you want to do well, you're gonna have to grind, and even if you want to do pretty well, you gotta grind.
Oh yeah,
you gotta grind no matter what.
There is, but what's crazy about stand up is there is just people that are just naturally just incredible.
For sure,
they don't need to, because I think I had like a like that. This is like comedy. It's like it was the thing that like I kind of started off as like, okay, I've always been like a funny person, so it wasn't as hard for me to like get to the point where it's like, oh, I can do really, really well. But it's like getting from good to great is really hard.
Or nerves too,
Yeah, but once you get like,
there's 80 times maybe, then you stop, which is not that long if you're in Denver.
I still get nervous. I'm not sure if I've talked about this yet, but yeah, before New Faces, which was like the finals, which was like the biggest show of my life.
For sure.
I was like in the morning throwing up, like dry heaving, like heavy.
I would understand that. I mean,
dude, I was so nervous.
It's also competition based, which adds to nerves,
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like the thing is like I'm cool with every single person I was in the finals with. Like
of course,
because the fact that you're there, that means you're very good.
For sure.
You can't fart your way into the finals. Like you don't. Like every single person that there's people that that still crushed and did extremely well, and they just like, you know what, got bad luck. These two people, it was just their night.
Yeah, or you're up against also just killers. You could have had a great set, and this guy could have had a better set.
Yeah, it's just like also it's like wherever you get paced. Like I got placed second, which was not cash money. That's not a good spot. But it was just like, hey, like I remember like what I was thinking is like literally when I pulled second, I'm like, well, this sucks. Well, you know what? I'll just try to do my best, get a good tape, see what happens. And then they're pretty good. And like when I was just talking to like I remember it was Mike Hammett came up and watched me, and he was like, well, the thing is, Jason, you're really good. You got a bad spot, but the thing is, I think you have a good chance of maybe placing. And I was like, there's no fucking way, Mike. What are you talking about? And yeah, it was great. I surprised myself, and there's a certain amount of like pressure that you put on yourself in those situations. You can see if you rise to those occasions or you don't, and you don't know until you put yourself there.
Yeah, that's
like the thing about like I think you should headline yourself. I think you should take those risks and those chances, because then you're like, hey, you know what? I did the 30. I headlined myself. It turns out I don't have it, and I need to work on some things. But that's how you figure out how much material you have, is by doing the longest sets you can.
You got to challenge yourself. I mean, that was kind of like why I did the Naked Show.
Mm-hmm,
and
definitely.
I frequently do comedy in Spanish, and that's a different muscle.
Ooh, that's very fun.
Because it's like you have to write, you have to translate, you got to figure out kind of the audience, like I've done it with a Colombian audience. I've done it in Argentina, where I'm like, okay, these words, you got to figure out the local. It's similar like if you're on tour and you're at like another like small venue or like small city, you're like, let me learn the words about it. But
yeah, like every single time. Usually, like what's really interesting is there's common themes you get when you work weekends a lot with headliners. Like usually you want to know, usually headliners will ask you like, hey, what's the rich neighborhood and what's the poor neighborhood? Because like that's just like usually you can replace those, and it's like, oh, he knows us, and then you can just crush with those. Like you go shit on Pueblo if you're in Springs, like you're going to do really well. It's like those different things you have to change. So
what's the rich neighborhood in the Springs?
Rich neighborhood in the Springs, probably Broadmoor area.
Is there a Whataburger there?
Rockrimmon, yeah. Yeah, dude. Rockrimmon's rich?
You're in the rich spot.
We up, dude. We up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to figure out
Flying Horse.
Because you're near Garden of Gods. That's got to be a
Garden of Gods is amazing. Have you been to Garden of Gods?
We have.
Yeah, man. It's very sweet. Yeah, man. It's a wonderful thing. I love just like those little like tricks and tips you learn just by doing weekends. Have you done like a legit like club weekend yet?
Nah, just a host spot, but that was about it, and that was kind of more of like a.
Oh, it was the threes thing.
Yeah, it was a threes thing. Yeah. I would like to. I need a good tape. Eric
man.
and I have talked recently, and he was like, "Yeah, you just gotta send me a tape."
Dude, you just gotta freaking honestly, the advice I'd have is I would go do Comedy Works and sign up for New Talent Night, and I'd crush one set doing your 3 minutes, and then I would go back, and then I'd wear the exact same clothes, and then do another 3 minutes, and then cut those together.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
That's probably your best bet, unless you can get a really good. Like I did Trinity. That's what I did for my tape. It was, that room. Joe McKenna. I had him on yesterday.
Oh, he came down. Hell
yeah,
yeah,
he did. Yeah, because
he's the best.
Yeah, dude, he's so. They run a great. Trinity's a very.
So was
very
it him
good
and
room.
Lou or just him?
No, just him.
Right.
I should have got them both on. That would have been a good idea. But yeah, like you just get super. That room's just so good. It's such a good room. So if you can just find a way to get a really good room set up, and then like honestly, one of the ideas I had is just do a tape night. Be like, hey, we're gonna get our best comedians, and everyone's gonna do 5, and we're just gonna like, hey, we're gonna prep the crowd. That's probably gonna be one of my shows that I'm gonna
That'd
produce.
be a really good idea because like
Yeah,
I would
like,
be like,
shoot
hey,
it.
I'm gonna get my good friends to come through, because if everyone, it's a really smart idea if you have the right place. Because if everyone's gonna be able to do that, they're gonna want their friends there. You know, it's kind of, and being a comic, you know, we understand the struggles with the homies where it's like, hey, I have 10 shows this month, come out, and they're like, to hear you do very similar jokes,
Do the
you know?
exact same jokes. Yeah,
It's like-
I have a couple buddies like of some of the people I went to school with in Denver. Like they're coming out for the Comedy Works Funny Final Four thing.
Yeah.
And they're gonna hear every single joke I've done. I'm gonna do my literally exact same 5. And no, I'm gonna toss a new one. I'm gonna do Family Feud. But yeah, like they're gonna hear very similar jokes. So it's like your friends just get tired. They get tired, and that's okay.
It's totally okay.
It's a different thing than like doing music.
If you don't understand, it's okay. You're gonna have fewer friends, and that's kind of
Yeah,
how it
man.
works, you know.
Definitely, it's hard, especially like you want to be able to hang out with your friends outside of comedy and like
For
work on
sure,
stuff.
you know, they don't want to be like, "Hey, you only invite me when you have your shows," and it's like,
It's
okay.
like let's hang out.
And that's the thing with producing. It's like, you know, I want my friends to come to all the shows, but when I have like the ones I'm producing, I'd really like them to show up because it's like sometimes you don't know. Fortunately, the rooms I've been having have been having pretty good turnout, but you never know. You know, it's every time that's like a stress thing. Will people come?
Definitely. Like so you run the Kager comedy. Then what are the other shows?
Good Karma Comedy at the Karma House every first Sunday of the month.
Yep.
And that's an interesting Calvin Creative place. And the new one, Who's on First Draft at First Draft Tap Room every second and fourth Thursday.
Yeah, Thursdays. That's crazy. That's something I didn't know about Denver's. Like you're running shows on like Wednesdays. Like I just got booked on 2 Wednesdays in Denver.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, what the heck? Like we
You
can
do
run
ratio?
I think so.
Hell yeah.
I think I'm doing.
That one's a good room.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I think I'm doing Trey's room.
Yeah, Thai House.
Thai House.
Interesting.
Thai House, and then I'm doing Ryan Ergo's, which I think
Oh, Corner Beat. That's cool.
Corner Beat. Yeah, you know this stuff, man. That's
Yeah, I've been on Trey's. I haven't been on Corner Beat, but I know, you know, producers. Everyone's got their own
Yeah, man.
spreadsheets. You know,
Definitely,
you figure
dude.
out what's going on.
Yeah. Also, like that's what I'm hoping for with Threes opening up. Is I just hope they just give freaking me or Lou just like booking power. I hope so.
Oh, that would be very.
Because
nice.
I'm like, I know who's funny. I swear to God. Okay, Eric, I am very good.
I would be.
swear
I'd be
to
very
you.
happy if you guys got
like Eric. I'm serious. Like I know who is going to deliver for you, and I know who is not. I am a good judge of who I book shows.
Yeah.
I know who's going. I know who has host time, and I know for a fact who has feature time.
It would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but it's just like it's a lot. Like running a comedy club, like that's a shitty job. It's hard, but just being able to kind of press off responsibilities.
Sounds kind of fun though.
I don't know. Would you ever want to open a comedy club? I think you would be a great owner.
I've thought about it many times. If for some reason I had to move out of Denver, or like probably maybe in a few years when I retire and move to Spain, maybe not a few, but
you think about how soon are you thinking about retiring?
I don't know, maybe 10 to 20 years plan.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
I'd like to retire between 40 and 50, and
That's great.
and have like live in like Andalusia, southern Spain, or maybe I would do something like Madrid because there'll be more expats, but somewhere where I could open a comedy club, kind of like how
That's
Tokyo
so
Comedy
cool.
Bar has done it, and just
Yeah, because you performed in Tokyo Comedy Bar, right?
Yep,
Dude,
few
that's
weeks ago. A
awesome.
few weeks ago.
Dude, how'd that go?
I performed in Tokyo and Osaka, which was nice. So I did one thing I would like to. I did this show called Your Hood Is a Joke, and it's a similar roasting concept, but you're roasting a neighborhood. Unfortunately, the commissioner of that show was there, so I'm gonna hopefully bring it to Denver or the Springs.
Dude, me going and shitting on Colfax, that'd be fun.
you could represent the Springs.
Oh,
against someone who's
absolutely.
got like Denver, Aurora, and we can do it like
What? How many times
international.
can you call me racist? Come on.
It'd be great, and like
Yeah.
so they did a segment of it in JFL. Like it's a good show.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it packs stuff out. So I did that. I did a few spots in Tokyo and Osaka too. But like that was my fourth continent doing comedy. So
That's very cool.
I'm trying to get out there.
You did Canada? Have you done Canada?
I haven't. I've done
Whoa.
South America. I did Argentina. I did Europe. I did London and Amsterdam, and I did Asia. So those are the
man.
ones. Yeah. So and I'd like to do Australia. Probably never do Antarctica. Don't see myself
Go
doing
do that.
Africa much, but maybe
Go
if
do
I
an
do South
dude,
Africa,
Dude, me and you opening up in Africa?
Yeah,
Let's
just-
go.
just Kenya or Chad or something. You know.
I was listening to Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah, I think he did South Africa.
Yeah, South Africa. I've been to South Africa. South Africa is definitely a spot you can do it. North Africa, no. I've been to Morocco. I'm not doing comedy in Morocco.
Yeah.
I would have to hide my star.
Oh damn, dude!
They do not.
The
They do
Moroccans
not
are
like.
fans of the Jewish
They don't like the
people?
Jews. No, I don't like.
Moroccans?
I don't think
didn't
many
know that.
places in Africa like the Jews.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. You know, that's not.
I did. Yeah, I know. I would. Man, it's so cool doing comedy all those different places.
It's
Like,
nice. It's different audience. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's expats, but it's cool to see what they like and what they don't like, and what references still carry. You know, these were expats, so a lot of my references did still do okay. But also it challenges you too.
Yeah.
You know.
One of the things, like, I think that is a crutch that a lot of people lean on. Is like if you do too many referential jokes, like you have to understand what the show SpongeBob is for this.
For sure. And they're topical, right? Like
Mhm.
I try to not write too many topical. I mean, if it's there, it's there. But like I don't want something has such a short shelf life because it's like
but that's good for TikTok. Like when you think about producing,
it is. I
content.
haven't done too much. One of my big goals is cruise. I want to do cruise ship comedy.
Yeah, you gotta be pretty clean most of the time.
You got to write I think a 45 clean and a 45 dirty.
45 clean, 45 dirty.
And
Yeah, that's probably a couple of years away.
for sure, I don't think I'm anywhere near, but I'm writing a lot. I'm writing hours a week, practicing it. You know, as it should. So it's like we're getting there. You know,
Definitely. Man.
where I doing the best I could do for Chet right now. You know, so
That's what I'm trying to do. It's also it's like you have to figure out ways to be okay on your own
For
too.
sure.
Like creating. Like it's great to have like friends and like community and stuff, but like being okay to be like, okay, these are the things I do. This is how I kind of get my stuff in a row, and here's how I invest in myself.
Yeah.
In my material.
And where you get time, like I was lie in bed, I get some time. I have my phone next to me. I'm not on it, but I'm like, oh shit, let me write this idea. Or in the shower, just like where is the most creative place? I read this book recently. I think it's Stephen Pressfield, The War of Art. Not
Very
to be
good book.
confused. The
Art of War.
The Art of War.
No, War
of Art.
War of Art.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like talking about like the muse and how do you kind of create that stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, break resistance, right? And that was helpful too, because there is
What does
so
that
much
mean?
that's resistance. Like everything is resistance, right? You can create reasons why you shouldn't do stuff. You know,
Why you shouldn't create?
why you shouldn't create.
Yeah, I
because
need
it's
to.
easy.
I think I'm gonna read this book.
Get those. That's a good one. I think I'm loaning it out. I think I gave it to Logan but I think he finished it. So once he gives it to me, I like to swap books with comics. I like to just
That's an awesome thing.
yeah. Hey, I read this book. What do you think? And give it back to me so I can give it to someone else. Because that's the thing. Like I finished it. It's on my shelf. What's the point of it being on my shelf if I can help someone else? And you know, I try to read as much as possible when it comes to that.
I think investing in most of my favorite comedians are very, very smart people that play dumb. Like Louis C.K. is very, very smart.
Yeah.
But he kind of plays dumb. Same thing with Norm. Norm Macdonald was like extremely philosophically intelligent. Like he was what's that? Yeah. So Norm Macdonald is a big fan of Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Okay.
Writer of I've read this book. Which is,
Okay.
by the way, this is one of the best philosophy books ever written.
That is a dense book.
Have you ever read The Brothers Karamazov?
No, I maybe should. How challenging is it?
It's pretty challenging,
Okay.
but also the thing is, it's just like if it's how much of it is your ego of being like, dude, if you want, I will lend that to you. It is an intense book. It kind of talks about it's basically like it's man's kind of qualm with God is a big part of it. And a big part of the story is like why does human suffering happen?
It's pretty interesting.
Very interesting. It's like when like people point to like the most important books ever written, The Brothers Karamazov.
I know. I've heard good things about it.
Also, Crime and Punishment is also very good.
Yeah,
also
I
written
know.
by
It's
Fyodor Dostoevsky.
So when you read this, because here's one thing, and this is what talk about resistance. Yeah. I'm not very good at picturing characters and stuff. Do I need that, or it's so philosophically dense where it's like I could kind of get what's going on.
The famous chapters of this book are Rebellion and Grand Inquisitor. Like those are kind of like pointed at as like two of like the best cases, like for the existence of God and actually against God, because like one of the things is like they put basically Jesus on trial is like kind of like the concept of the book, the chapter. And it's kind of this exercise talking about like, okay, it's basically they read out this list of things, the real things that happen in the world. So they talk about like they're throwing babies in the air and they're catching them on bayonets. It's like the most evil and horrible things about the world. And they're asking God, they're like, why did you allow these evils to happen? And God doesn't really have an answer. And then what he does is at the end of it, he goes and he hugs each of them and kisses them both, which is just like they're like. It's very good. It's very deeply philosophical. It's very interesting.
Maybe I will, because I do need a new book. I've been kind of reading a lot of joke writing books.
Freaking beast. Yeah,
also, it might take me a minute.
Like this is one of the things. Also, like, because I went down the rabbit hole of reading everything about like comedy writing and all that stuff. Like being able to have other things. You're a funny person. You can pull funny out of almost anything.
Yeah.
It'd be hard for me to pull funny out of the Brothers Karamazov. That'd be pretty tough. But yeah, like they talk about that. It's very, very interesting because then, like it kind of goes into basically it's like what is love too, and like what's true love, and like what does like loving another person look like, and it's very, very good.
It was a nice break too. I mean,
Yeah.
Logan and I did book swap, and he gave me The Old Man at Sea Hemingway, and I like Hemingway a lot.
Nice,
so it's nice to kind of like, and I hear you. It was nice to break up from a comedy book to something. Granted, that is probably a tenth of the length.
Be a human.
But I was able to rip through that. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I see that struggle, and kind of how it could be applicable in comedy of just like,
definitely. It's a freaking Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Like that's a beautiful metaphor for ambition. Man, my English teacher would be very happy about how I'm podcasting.
It's wild how good English teachers can really shape. Like,
yeah, I've had a couple really good ones. When my senior year, my English teacher, I remember we read 1984. That was very good. Like, and honestly, it's like you see like the patterns of like it's like when you can't criticize something, like that's very dangerous. And that's something that I sit within in comedy a lot. It's like, okay, what are the sacred cows? Why can't we talk about this?
Yeah.
thing?
Why are there so many rules? And why do rules kind of keep popping up, too?
Yeah.
And why do we need to abide by certain rules,
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. And also, I think just being a well-read comedian makes you also, first of all, your word choice is going to be better. Second of all, you're going to be able to tackle more topics. It just makes you smarter.
It is challenging though,
It's
and I
very
think
hard.
you actually we were doing some writing, and you were telling me like hey, I don't know what this word means.
I don't know what a lot of words mean.
For sure. And that wasn't a dig. Obviously, you're well-read and stuff like that. But it
no,
was a
I'm
good...
not well-read. I'm an idiot, dude.
Well, you have to be well-read to get it through a book like that, I'm sure. But what I'm saying is, like...
I had a girlfriend that helped me.
Sometimes...
She did the writing.
She read it to you, but you were sitting in bed. I got you. Sometimes when it comes to, like, the diction, using diction that would resonate with more people, because sometimes I'm picking my word choices and they aren't the right ones for certain crowds because they're like, I don't know what you mean. And it's like, oh, I need to use a more commonly used one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there's like a good rule. It was like you want a fifth grader to be able to follow your jokes.
Okay, yeah. And that's a tough thing because, like, sometimes I'll write and I'll use what I think might be the most specific. I'll have the specificity for the right word, but it's like, what the fuck are you saying, dude? I don't know what you're saying.
Diction means. Yeah. It's very good to read.
Yeah.
I think I'm a big fan. I'm trying right now. I'm working through Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
Oh yeah. Stoicism, right?
Stoicism.
Yeah.
Man. That's the thing. Is it's like one of my big rules for my life is that I put things in boxes. I put things in the box of things that I can control and the things that I can't control. I can't control whenever I'm getting whatever past the comedy works booked again. Right, like you kind of can control booked again, but like booked again, like success on social media, right? There's certain things that like in terms of the result that are outside of my control, but the things that are within my control are my processes, like all these different things that I'm doing. How am I reaching out to bookers? Am I being a great person to work with? Yeah. Am I being professional? Am I showing up early? Am I doing my time consistently? Am I delivering whenever I'm on stage? It makes
a really big difference, and I think that's like. Probably why you've been able to get so far and why I've been feeling like very happy with how things are going, I think is because the reliability, if you're going to book me, you're going to get someone or you can get someone on time. You can get someone who takes it seriously, who showed up, not intoxicated. And that's going to, check the right boxes that are good enough. And
yeah, one of my I was talking to Paul Conyers because I just hosted at Looney's this weekend, nice. And he said one of the best pieces of his advice is like, you want to be, if you are funny and low maintenance, you will have work pretty much forever. Like if you can deliver on both of those things, like hey, this guy's not a prima donna. He's not going to cause a scene. He's not going to go get hammered and like throw up all over the floor of the comedy club, right? It's like if you're able to do that. And you're delivering on stand-up, you're going to be fine. Yeah. And there's
that's good. Low maintenance is a good.
Low maintenance, I would say, is very good because like there's been people that I've booked and they're very not low maintenance, and I'm like, oh, I'm just not gonna. Book
yeah. We've had some, and actually, it wasn't a comic. It was kind of like a mixed piece, but they had to bring a lot of equipment and they had to go on at a certain spot. They're like, hey, can you put me at this spot?
Yeah,
and it's like
no.
Sure, probably last time you're gonna be here, but that's fine.
Yeah, or you just say no.
Yeah,
getting good about being the bad guy is a good skill to have sometimes because you have to find that balance of like being nice but also not getting walked over.
Yeah, and understand what that like threshold is, right? Like how much is the amount where you're like, wait, no, like because there's a lot where I'm like, you want this? Okay, fine, and then you want this too? It's like. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's when it's like, come on.
Yeah. But also, it's like the thing is, it's like figuring out your own asks is good too. Like right now, I'm like I had a conversation with my dad. He was like, Jason, like if you're going up like on a like his example is like, Jason, if you're driving up to Denver and you're only getting paid $20, you should just say no and do something else because you have to start valuing your time and your effort and your energy in terms of what are you able to give up because you're losing out on time you could be writing, time you could be making money, time you could be editing your podcast, time you could be doing these other things. So you have to get better at saying no.
I think I make some conscious choices when it comes to open mics.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Will this open mic, and I don't like it as I know, but it's like now that we have shows where we're on other things and that's the only thing. Will this 2.5 hours to go 3 minutes. Will I get something from it? Will my jokes get better? I
think coming in with intention.
Yeah. What do I want to work on? What joke matters to do? How am I going to do this joke, and how's it going to land? And I think once I started doing briefs and debriefs about like what do I want on?
I'm gonna steal that. That's really smart. So
Yeah.
like you'll go into an open mic and like you have like your things you want to work on,
Yeah.
and then that's really smart. That's also Ralphie May did that actually. So Ralphie May, he would go in and he would basically give a ranking system. It's like, okay, if I open on my closer, that's a point. If I go,
Yes, I remember. Was
Yeah.
that from his stand-up thing at the store?
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
It's
yeah. So
such- that's
it's
good.
like it's
Yeah,
like, and then your goal is to rack up points.
Yep.
And your goal is not to necessarily crush every time, but your goal is to make sure that you're progressing forward every time. And that's the thing that I'm struggling with too, because it's like I just want to go out and freaking crush every time.
I love that. I love gamification of certain things. I would create a reward for it if I did the dishwasher. If I get this many points, I could play video games. It's something about
that's great. That's good for
gamification.
life.
This is the shit I gotta do.
Yeah.
These are the things that
Like
I
here's what I have to do and here's my reward.
Yeah.
I think that would help me a lot because I have very, very, very bad ADHD.
Me too.
So it's like I have to find like those little kind of like tips and tricks.
I like video games. I like board games. I like games. So I
Yeah.
like setting. So ranking, it's kind of a fun thing too. I rank my jokes. I have like Super Smash Bros. Tiers. I have my S tier jokes, my A, my B, and then I kind of check them.
Yeah, I actually need to go back through this. I had a Excel spreadsheet of every single joke, and I ranked them, and I ranked also how far they progressed. And I did that like 2 years ago.
Oh, I still have that, and
That's
I have my
smart.
words per minute. I have filterable things. Is it clean? Is it dirty? How long will this one probably take?
That's
What
awesome.
material? Yeah. I'm a huge nerd. I have docs and sheets, but I'm also been in the business world, so it's kind of like it
Yeah, that's
bleeds a
good.
little bit.
Definitely, I think like I read this really good book called Range.
Okay.
It's basically it talks about the example they gave was Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was groomed to be a golfer since he was a child, right? And he was like supposed to be the best golfer of all time, and he was. He was very extremely successful, but all of that pressure eventually led to like all the affairs and everything like that, right? Because it was just so much pressure for him to do this one thing. Then they compared Tiger Woods to Roger Federer. Roger Federer tennis wasn't even the sport that he thought he was the best at, but it was just the one that he had the most fun playing because he like swam and he golfed and he played field hockey and he did all these different things to try to figure out what he was able to do. And he was able to bring some of the skills and stuff he learned in swimming into tennis in terms of like consistency or any of that stuff. I think it's a very similar thing with comedy. If you have something outside of comedy that you can combine with it, it makes you a lot more valuable.
For
right?
sure.
Like if you like do book reviews or something, if you love reading, right? And you could go combine like book reviews with you're a very funny person. There's a niche and a market there.
And it's material too. Yeah. A market's important too. I mean, it's kind of comedy's a lot of marketing. You're marketing yourself to the audience, right? Like what's your brand? And if your brand can be something that like people like or certain people like and it draws in certain people, like that's kind of a cool way to do it.
Absolutely. I think this is a conversation me and my dad had. He was like, "Jason, what are you?" And I was like, "I'm a comedian." He's like, "No, you're an entertainer." And then he went down the list of comedians and he's like, "How did you hear about this person?" I was like, okay. He's like, "How did you hear about Theo Von?" And I was like, "Well, I heard about him through Joe Rogan." He's like, "Well, there's your answer. How did you find these people through something else, and then they come and watch your stand up?" It's because like most people are not going to like go watch a stand up clip and then be like, "Oh, I'm going to go see this guy live." It's very rare.
That's great. You got like you got a supportive dad that
I
cares
do.
about you.
I have very supportive parents. I'm very lucky in that way. But obviously, like my mom's fucking terrified about me being homeless, pretty much. Like,
yeah, but
there's certain like I'm very, very lucky because I've talked with a lot of comics that do not have that, and that's really hard. Dude, I like tear up talking about my mom sometimes, just like of how much she like I have a responsibility to my mom to be like legit like the best I possibly can be, because like there was like times where like I couldn't afford to go to a couple comedy festivals and my mom was just like, "You're going. Let's make it happen," and just paid. And I was going to lose those opportunities. And the thing is, I just, by the fact that like my mom supported me through those things, I was able to get a lot of really good connections and meet a lot of really good people, and there's a certain part of my own personal responsibility that I have to have in terms of, in terms of just like my behaviors and all that stuff. Like, that I just stood to not lean on my mom that much. You know,
It's great though. I mean, it's not a bad thing to have support, and sometimes there's almost like a guilt feeling of like, you know, like, who's got the worst life? Oh, I got the worst life. No, I got the worst life.
Yeah.
But like to have support and people who care, I think that's a beautiful thing.
It's
My
huge.
parents
Yeah.
are very sweet. They do not really give a shit about my comedy, but they're very sweet people.
But you're doing well.
Yeah, they're happy with that. They're like, you know, don't quit your day job, which is fine. And
that's actually good advice too. That was something that it took me a little bit to kind of like humble myself and.
Well, I don't need to, which is nice because like
Mm-hmm.
I have a day job that allows me to have the flexibility at night to do comedy.
That's
Comedy's not really done during the day, so you can kind of do both depending on what the gig is.
100%. And also, if you like talk to other comedians, it's almost always that. They almost always have a day job. It's even like there's headliners that like
for
come
sure.
through, and
Most
they
of
have
them still have a day job.
Yeah,
and why wouldn't you? I mean, if you like it, if you like your day job.
Yeah,
I'd be bored during the day to have a full day off.
Yeah, no, that's why I would. Well, I would love it if I could do comedy full time, because then it would just be me doing stuff like this during the day, me podcasting, me creating content.
I guess
then
you'll
at
have
night, then you're going and ripping shows. But also, then the thing is, even with that, you could get burnt out too. So you
for sure, it grounds me having a job that you exercise a different muscle, because comedy is a certain muscle you're flexing, or even writing, doing all that. But it's kind of nice. I don't know. For me, I love the business stuff. I want to always do. But you could do business with comedy.
Yeah.
You know,
it also, like, that was the thing for me, is that I came out of high school and I had this very intense entrepreneurial like muscle that I'm like, I don't want to have a job. I don't want to do it. So I really wanted to start a business and do something. And then I was able. Like, it ended up being like a couple years later, like 2 years later, I ended up finding comedy. And it was like, after kind of like not really doing a good job on the first business I did, but I was like, I learned a lot. So now I'm able to kind of apply those same entrepreneurial practices into what I'm doing in stand up.
Totally.
It's like, okay, how can what's my goal to get to the end customer? Which is someone that's just like going to watch my video and laugh, right? So it's like, what are things that I can do to be really smart to get to that point? And build a brand, like what we're talking about. It's just like, as much as like doing, like, you have to have, I think in order to make it in comedy, you have to have everything. You have to have a good marketing business brain. You have to have the raw talent, and you have to have the work ethic. You have to have all three, right? Because there's a lot of people I know that are very good business people and are good at networking, and they can get opportunities, but they don't have like, the jokes aren't there, then you
really got to be funny. Yeah,
you're gonna sputter out.
Big part.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people that are very, very smart business people, but they can't do five, you know, and that's only going to carry them so far. You're going to get a lot of opportunities, but you're going to get one and dones, right? Yeah. Versus a guy like Trent Cotton. He is a very, very good video marketer, and he's an incredible comic, right? He opened up for Nate Jackson. They filmed the shows that he did, and he offered Nate Jackson, he's like, hey, I'd love to go and film all this stuff for you. And Nate Jackson was like, let's do it. Like, I'll take you on the road. I'll let you open up. You just got to film and edit all the stuff together. Yeah. And Trent did an incredible job, and now he's featuring at that club. He's helping edit Nate Jackson's podcast. He's getting a ton more opportunity than he ever would here. He lives out in Seattle.
He's crushing
it. And it was because he had the whole package.
Did he come back this weekend, or is it next week?
He's coming back on the 30th.
Okay, so, yeah, I saw he was doing something like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, dude, no, come down and say hi, man.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
I mean, dude, he was first guest on the pod, man. He's a great dude.
He's a good friend too. I like him a lot. You know, I like the Springs. I mean, I come to the Springs. The Springs are good to me. You know,
Very good.
I enjoy.
If you want to work clubs, man, it's a grind in Denver. Like, I don't know. Like, there's so much competition at Comedy Works to get past, and then there's also so much pressure on the people.
That'd be challenging because, like, I think it's unpaid host and stuff like that. So like that'd be
but the thing is, I'd do it tomorrow.
Sure.
I have this running bit is that I would burn every comedy club in Colorado down if I got to consistently perform at Comedy Works. I love that place. Yeah, like it's incredible, and like the stage time you just can take anywhere. I'll perform anywhere pretty much any time. But those clubs are going to be it's very hard to break through, and it's a long process. And like I even had a guy from New York that I was trying to get connected with one of the bookers here in the Springs, and it's hard. Even he's like a New York guy, like works out like the New York Comedy Club, and he's like headlining shows in New York and all this different stuff. It's like a legit New York guy, and I'm like, hey, just like send this guy your availability. Still not getting back to him, and I'm like, this guy's pretty funny. It's hard to break through because it's a lot of the times it's relationship. People book their friends.
Yeah, that
is one of the biggest lessons in comedy. Is like, dude, if you're an asshole, no one is going to want to be your friend, and no one's going to want to book you, especially if it's just like
there's a lot of funny
you're
people
in your little
out there,
box.
You know,
yeah, it's like
that's the thing. There are like if someone is a jerk to me, it's like I'm not gonna sweat.
I have
if
five of you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sweat that I can't book you. Like I don't think that's ever been a thought. But,
absolutely.
Don't know if this guy would want to be booked by me. You know, it's like okay, well, there's other people.
Definitely, man. It's a beautiful thing. Like I think it's just like you can make those choices and those decisions to be able to protect yourself. You know, and like you don't have to give opportunities to people you don't like.
For sure,
it's great.
You shouldn't have to because there's enough people.
Yeah, man, absolutely. In any town or any city. Yeah. Well, weekends are fun, man. I just finished up hosting for Paul at Looney's, and but yeah, like when we were talking about like comedy competitions earlier, like he won the World Series of Comedy, and I was like talking to him about it. He was like, yeah, it's pretty much it's like you can have like the best set of your life, and then just it's not your night. Because he was like, yeah, the night I won, I was like, I did pretty good. I wasn't sure if I was gonna win, but. Yeah, it's being able to just like do your best.
Are you gonna try that? Do the World Series of Comedy?
Yeah, probably will. I'll do it. I think it's a great opportunity, and I'm not sure how like industry connected it is. I think that just means like if you like do really well in the World Series of Comedy, what that means you probably can do B rooms as long as you want.
Yeah. Like
Looney Bins and like that sort of stuff. Like that's what I was talking to Paul about because there's like the A rooms are like Comedy Works, Comedy Store, improvs. Like those are like A rooms.
Improvs are A rooms too.
Yeah, usually improvs are pretty good rooms. And then
what would be a B room?
B room, like
Looney's. Looney's would be.
Yeah, it's because it's like basically what that means is they're not getting like super famous people all the time.
Yeah,
because Looney still gets big
like the
names.
Hollywood Improv has huge names.
Yes,
but and Alec Flynn's doing that shit all the time. Dude. Yeah,
dude, that guy rules.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah,
and crushing that.
Yeah, no,
sandwich between like just legends.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's very very good, and also just it's like you. I think you kind of figure out where you're supposed to be. He should be in LA.
Yeah,
like he is so fucking handsome. He's a very good looking guy. I deserve Austin, Texas. That's probably where I should be.
I could see you doing.
I think I'd do very well. So that's probably my plan at some point in the future. But
I plan on staying in Denver.
I like it, man.
In general,
it's
great.
Forever.
Dude.
It's especially if you have a good life and you're happy.
I got my place there. I got my life. You know,
that's good.
It's good.
I think it's better to have a good life and do stand up than to just like be like, this is gonna fix it.
Yeah. But I mean, also, you're a lot younger than me, and you are crushing. So I would understand, you know, like I know where I'm gonna be, and I know what my goals are, and my goals aren't like necessarily being Dave Chappelle. You know, it's never gonna happen. But if I can work my way up to headlining, you know, one day when I'm good enough, I'm fine with that. You know.
Yeah. Versus, I want to be recognized as like one of the best
for sure, and I get that. And
that's what I want that really bad because it's actually very interesting. I had a conversation with Russell Keller about the New Faces thing, and he was basically saying like, you know what, it's okay. I'm just gonna like go out there and try my best, and I'm like, I'm going to bury everyone, and I'm going to take no prisoners and do my absolute best. He's like, you know what, I'm happy if I, and I think it's like it's good to like I think because it's like the thing was like where you're aiming high. Actually, I just saw me and Caleb saw Jordan Peterson. I think it was on Monday last week.
Nice.
And his whole thing is like, what are you aimed at? Like, what's your thing, right? For me, it's like I want to be the best possible comedian and entertainer I possibly can be, right? So what does that entail? What is the truest form of effort? If I want to be the best version of that, what are the processes and systems that I have to be doing to go do the work to achieve those things. It's not about just doing it when you feel like it. It's like, okay, if you really want to aim at this thing, but you're doing all these things that are drifting you away from your goal, then you're not actually trying to achieve it. It's like is this thing on purpose or off purpose to that aim, and just being like, hey, you know what, my aim is that I want to be a headliner, do road gigs every once in a while. Yeah. That's a good aim. That's good
for sure. And in business, right? We talk about SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. And for me, knowing
I like that,
how I can set the right goal that I can hold myself accountable for and really is realistic, and it's something that I want to do. I'm a big fan of goal setting, and I want something that's like, I don't need the carrot that's so far away from me where it's like, I'm running and never keep up. I want something where like, what will make me happy? And I'm like, this would probably make me happy. I can't tour all the time, I got, a life I'm building here. My job requires a lot of travel. But if I have to travel and I got to go to like Tokyo or Europe and I get to do comedy there too and do a good gig, that'll make me really enjoy it. Where when I'm traveling all these places.
Yeah, I think like kind of like taking that mental inventory of like, am I happy?
Yeah.
That's huge. And because the thing is, a lot of times success can be very isolating. It can be. It's tough. And it's lonely at the top can be true if you neglect relationships in order to achieve what you want.
And I want to be happy, and that's the biggest thing. And before the pandemic, I Googled the word hobbies. I was that sad. I couldn't do anything creative. I put in Google, what are some hobbies? And then I found this. And I was like, yeah, and there's a lot of BS hobbies that I'm like, well, I don't.
Dude, there's Chet out there freaking knitting.
Yeah. Shopping is a hobby? That seems it's just bad. And then, I don't know. I did do some photography. I do love photography. I have a big passion for that. But I don't know. I started doing comedy, and then people, would say the same thing. You're funny. You should do it. And I was not funny when I started because, there's a lot you don't know. Like, if you're funny in a group of friends, that's very different than being funny on stage.
Oh, 100%.
So
I started off, like when I was like living here with all the comedians, everyone was like, Jason, you are very, very funny on stage. Off stage, it is not great. Is like what they told me. Because I had it switched. Because I know joke structure and stuff, but like kind of like being a person.
Yeah, I definitely had the opposite. That's a funny thing.
Very funny. It's like, hey, like you're very funny on stage, but goodness gracious, chill out.
Yeah.
And it's a long process. It's a long journey to just like get to the point where it's just also like figuring out self-confidence. Who am I? What like that? And honestly, it's like one of the things I love about stand-up is it gives you so much time to self-reflect.
Oh yeah,
that's why it's honestly I haven't met a lot of the Hollywood comedians because you have to be so fucking good at comedy to have a huge ego and be a stand-up comedian. Like you have to be nuts to not be like a humble, down-to-earth guy because you get humbled all the time in stand-up. For sure. Like Dave Chappelle can bomb. Like it's insane.
And if you're not getting humbled, it's probably because you're not taking risks. Like, oh, I'm just going to do my 5 that crushes everywhere. Like, that's not going to get you better. It might get you, good feedback and people aren't writing. But I like writing and trying, and I'm like, oh, it bombed? Great. Which part didn't work?
Yeah, it's data. It's information. You're taking things in. It is very funny about how much we like overanalyze. Like, hey, there's this new bit I have about farting during jiu-jitsu class that I'm working through. You're like, oh, how does this work?
You write some shit and you're like, no, that was terrible. Like, I it's funny because I also smoke some weed. I'll write something, think it's the smartest thing ever.
Not smart.
Stay on stage and people be like, what's wrong with you? Why would you think this was funny? Also, you're sick fuck. Like what?
Also, you're the worst person I've ever met in my life, and I hate you.
And it's like, because comics, I mean, the goal is to push the envelope just the right amount. But doing that, you have to figure out what's the wrong amount. And sometimes you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. I think it's like I heard this thing that Jeselnik said is like comedy is the art of getting away with it.
Yeah.
Like if someone's like writing an article about you and like your stand up, it's like usually that means you didn't get away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because like think about like all the stuff that Jeselnik said. How many people are like writing down things about like, can you believe this? That means you didn't get away with it. Yeah, it's like a lot of the times. like you have to figure out the best way to structure the joke where you can get away with it and also leave them liking you. It's like you can't appease everyone at the same time, which is also very tough.
For sure. It's like, and sometimes when like I've had a lot of times where like my joke will split the room, but the half that likes it comes up and is like, that was my favorite part by far,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you see some other people that are like,
this person stinks. He should give
yeah,
up.
I mean, I can't believe they said that, but it's because like, yeah, I took a risk, but like, you know, on those jokes usually I'm like, well, this was a very well written joke. That's why I like it, and that's why the people who liked it, not just because like they were like, well, this was a little XYZ.
I think it's good to just be also it's like at the end of the day, what's beautiful about stand-up is it's you're performing it.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people I know who can be very good writers, and then in terms of like you selling it, it's tough.
And that's something I've tried to work on too. How can I sell a joke? Because I actually do feel like from a writing standpoint, that's one of my strong ones. But how do I act it out? And people who have like acting, you know, like backgrounds go in and just crush immediately because they're able to sell it and, you know, exactly like
definitely
do that.
Like Sam Talent's incredible at selling
Yeah.
jokes. He's very, very good.
Yeah.
Like, and also it's just like being able to sit in discomfort is a big piece of like just how
That's
you can
funny.
be.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Sitting in discomfort. I like how
yeah,
because
like when you are like there should be a laugh here, and then like you just try to talk over it to try to get to your next punchline. Just sit in it for a second. Take your time
and acknowledge too. I mean, you get you don't want that person that's like, you know, you're at an open mic. Like, well, this one's new. You know, it says it like 3 times when they just bomb. It's like, okay, sure. But it's kind of funny to like acknowledge how the audience, because it's a present situation. It's a performative act. They're part of it. You know,
I always call that labeling. Like you have to label the room. I think that there's things like that you can do that help a ton. Like just being able to point out people. It's like, oh, this person didn't like that one. Being present is very good.
Have you ever read Chris Voss's Never Split the Difference?
Yes, actually.
Yeah, they talk about labeling a lot too. I mean, it's in a different way, but it is kind of like the importance too. That's
it's like so we're having a conversation. I'd be like, so what I'm hearing is, and then you repeat back what they said.
Yeah, you're assigning a label that could validate what they're saying, or even allow.
Very
that to
good
be
in dating too. Very good. Is you just like if you're in a big
apply
fight,
that for everything.
If you're in a big fight, just be like, hey, what I'm hearing is that you're not feeling heard and listened to by me.
Yeah.
What can I do moving forward? And then also you can be like, is that correct?
It validates your listening. Same thing with like, you know, comedy. You're validating, you're listening to the situation, and you also know what's going on. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah, sitting in discomfort. I like
oh,
that.
definitely. That's how you kill.
Yeah,
the killing. It's like you say something that's a little off color, and then you sit and you wait, and then you smack them in the head, and then that's where you get to those. Because there's different levels of laughs. It's like you like I can kind of hear it now, like doing stand up. Is that there's like a laugh where it's like, you know, that's pretty good, and then there's like the one up from that where they're like and then you have people falling out of their chairs and stuff. Like I remember it was like one of my favorite things. It was like my dad. My dad heard everything I did at the New Faces because he just watches my stand up, and he was like, he was like, Jason, the moment I knew that you were doing really well is there was this person that was sitting in front of me, and when you started doing the Trump impression, they fell out of their chair, and I was like, that was pretty cool.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. It was just like
it is interesting when you evaluate like this got a cackle, this did that.
Yeah, it's like I rank them because I know the rhythm too. It's like when you get rolling laughs, like that's huge. Like when I do the Trump impression, I have rolling laughs the entire time, and I have to talk over myself to get to my next punchline.
And timing the wave too, exactly. Like when is it gonna die out and then you catch it? You know, like when do I talk?
It's rhythm.
How long is this laugh gonna last for? You know,
yeah, man.
like
it's rhythm. It's feeling it.
Yeah.
It's jiving, man. Yeah, it's definitely riding the wave. Like there's a lot of comedians that are very into surfing, which I think is very poetic because definitely it's like you're like, okay, here's the joke, and then you can like kind of like ride it around, and then you move on to the next one. I think that's definitely how it is. I love it a ton.
Timing and rhythm, it's such a beautiful thing. Stand-up comedy.
It's very
cool. It gets me out of bed sometimes. It is what I dream about. I've literally every night pretty much.
Yeah, dude. I dreamt I opened up for Dave Chappelle. I like dreamed it. It was very wild.
Hell yeah.
There's like my narcissism, my subconscious, just like
I had the roast on Friday, and I dreamt immediately after about the roast again.
Dude, how was the roast?
It was awesome. I roasted a very, very fierce competitor, also the owner of the bar, Megan.
Yeah, how'd that go?
We had, I think, one of the best battles I've ever had in general. It was solid. I believe it's going to hopefully be submitted to RBL, so I'm excited about that. She did beat me 3-2.
Very close.
It was very close. I wanted to advance, but we put on a fun battle for the audience.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I did. When I was in Tokyo, I did Your Hood's a Joke. So I do like roasting sometimes. I mean, it is a different muscle, but
yeah, I remember I saw you and Big Mike roast each other.
That was
awesome.
a fun one. Yeah,
that was awesome.
I was my only win actually. I lost everyone either in overtime, double overtime,
Me
or
too.
3-2.
I've lost every roast battle I've done.
Yeah,
but I need to get back.
Oh, it's a lot of fun, and the Big Mike one was dope. That was a good time. I mean, even that was in overtime, but roasting's fun. Anything in comedy is fun, you know? It's like something like similar to where you don't have to exactly do your whole set. I like all of those shows too. I like doing my material too. I like stage time. I mean, that's what we're addicted to, right?
Yeah, man, just attention.
That's when we get on stage. Yeah, it's so weird, the personality of a comic. Like, yeah, I just want to get on stage and be the center of attention for as long as possible and make people laugh. I mean, it sounds wild.
It is. There's this Jon Stewart quote that I always love. It's like it talked about like stand-up comedy is a crazy thing because you walk into a room and you see 350 seats and then you see one stool and you're like, that's where I go. Like the amount of insane courage, neuroticism, narcissism that comes out of looking at all these people and being like, I should be up there, right? I like. Even when, like, what sucks is, like, even, like, sometimes when I watch comedy, I'm like, man, I'd do better than that guy. And I'll be watching, like, big shows. I can't. It's like there's, like, when I love comedy so much, when I see it done, like, not to the best it should be, it makes me so mad. It, like, grinds my gears, and I get very angry, which is something I have to work on.
What are some of your big comedy goals this year?
Oh, big comedy goals this year? Oh, man, I don't really have any for this year.
I don't believe that.
I have
for a second.
I kind of did all the stuff I wanted to headline this year, and I already did that. I'm about to do it twice.
What did you do?
I did Stella's, and then I'm headlining Blue Cactus in April. Yeah, it's in Pueblo. Blue Cactus in Pueblo. So did that. I don't know. Probably get past a feature at Looney's. That would be awesome. Do a feature weekend at 3E's after they open, hopefully. But a lot of that stuff is like there's things that are outside of my control. So I'm not sure if that's necessarily the best goal.
Yeah,
I think the best
someone else is.
Yeah, so I would say I actually have like these like goals for like my life. It's like I want to get to 100 episodes on the podcast.
Okay.
I want to bench press 300 pounds. I want to save up $12,000. I want to just like keep a healthy and stable diet. Just like all the different stuff I'm working on, because it's like with ADHD, it's like you have to kind of have like everything. You have to have systems.
I get it. I'm supposed to be diagnosed a lot of medicine, and I take none of it.
Yeah, me too. I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to go
50 milligrams on Vyvanse. That's what the doctor thinks I should have.
That's intense, man.
I know, and I take zero anything. Wow. I don't even drink coffee.
That's wild.
I know.
I can't understand that. Like, there's certain like things and habits that I have to do with ADHD, or else
I don't know how it would be. I mean, I'd be curious to see like if I did take that, would I write more? I don't know. Maybe it is worth it.
I'm willing to experiment and do whatever it takes.
I'm kind of open too, because like, what if that makes me better?
Yeah, man. But also the thing is, it's like, hey, I kind of feel like shit, and I don't like this.
Oh, I turned me into a monster at night, and I don't know. That might be not good. But it might be good too. I should probably get back on there.
Yeah, man. I'm supposed to meet with a doctor, get like a Adderall prescription. But yeah, it's like having like a stimulant, and also just like it's a dopamine deficiency. So it's like if you do things that are increasing your dopamine, like working out, getting time outside.
You gotta work out if you're on that shit, I think.
100%. Even when I'm not, I should be. Like, and when I work out in the mornings, I'm way sharper. So I kind of got to get routines and stuff down. It's definitely just it's a grind. It's just it gets exhausting for
300
sure.
pounds on the bench, huh?
That's the goal.
Where are you at now?
I'm at 285.
Oh, you're close. Are you talking about one rep?
Yeah, 1 rep max. The goal, because I want to get as soon as I can bench 300, I'm gonna get a tattoo.
What's it gonna say?
It's just gonna be a cool like cattle head. It's like a longhorn head, and there's like a cool design on the inside.
Are you tatted now? Or that's
no tats. I'll be my first one.
Virgin ink.
Virgin ink, man. That'd be dope. I just want
skin.
something that just like kind of badass and dope.
Yeah,
just get some cool
good.
shit. Yeah, man. That's good. I bet you could probably freaking get a pretty crazy bench.
I can't bench 300, but I only
you can get 2 plates, right?
2 plates.
225?
225 bench. I don't think so. I think
I bet you could.
I can squat almost 250.
That's pretty good.
But benching, I'm probably closer to like I haven't maxed, but I've been repping 160, so I'm thinking 185 would be good. But I only weigh 135, so if I could do 185, impressive. I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
I'd like to get to 200. I mean, I'm not there now. It might take the end of the year, but yeah, I'm all legs and ass.
That's good, dude.
Yeah,
get those DLs.
Okay, but
yeah, man. I got I'm gonna start. I just bought a weightlifting belt and like straps.
Oh, I got a belt.
Yeah, dude.
I like the belt. I'm a big fan of having a belt, and I need wrist straps. But I've been pressing too. I like pressing. You press?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Big time. I hit those Arnold presses, man. That's dope.
What are the Arnold ones? What do you?
It's like where you hit it, like you start here, press up.
Oh.
Hit these.
But you're doing dumbbells.
And you rotate with dumbbells.
Yeah, I do. I do the bar, but dumbbells are good too.
I'm not a fan of. Caleb likes the barbell. He just
I like
likes
the barbell.
Yeah, I like dumbbell
and throw it back.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
you put up weight, man. Yeah, I think you just gotta find those systems for yourself. One of my I was listening to this podcast and it was saying like that you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your systems, which is like that's like the number one thing.
Yeah, you gotta be prepped.
Yeah, that's like the big thing that I would say that's probably my goal. Is like how can I create the best systems instead of me like trying to focus on like, okay, I need to get an hour of material and I want to film a special in December, right? Instead of me doing that, it's like, okay, let's break that down into little baby steps, because that's for ADHD is very good. Being like, okay, instead of taking on a big task. Because I'm very good at starting tasks. I'm not good at finishing tasks. So it's like, how can I say these little baby steps along the way? So instead of me being like, I want to get an hour of material, it's okay. I'm like, hey, I'm going to hit a mic every single Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm not booked on a weekend, I'm going to be getting guest spots consistently.
Yeah, if you're checking in, I want to do an hour at the end of the year, you need frequent check-in points, right? If you're talking about like finishing something, like how am I going to accomplish this for a week? You know?
Yeah, it's like, okay, where am I at now?
Have you read Atomic Habits? That's a good one.
Yeah.
It talks about, the incremental changes, the incrementality, right?
Yeah.
So it's like how you could get there.
Yeah, like
and we're talking about books. We sound very intelligent. We're just
do.
trading back our books we read.
Yeah, like I just started like kind of keeping my room like more clean, like and like stuff like little things like that. It's so good.
My
like
room's
having
clean, but I don't have any responsibility for it.
Yeah, that's good. That's nice, man. It's good if you know that about yourself. That's huge.
Yeah.
Like,
it is cleaner though. But it's funny. People are like, I need a clean room for me to do something. I mean, it's good my room's clean. It does not matter. I can work in whatever environment. I just gotta do it.
Yeah, I get like decision paralysis a lot when it comes to doing things. Like I'll be, these are like the 4 things I need to get done. Do not do any of them. I just sit there and do nothing. It's very, very tough. It's just like you try to figure out those systems and habits for yourself. Like I think like my systems are going to be like, hey, wake up in the morning, go to the gym. After that, figure everything else out. Like, or just kind of like figure out like the night before, like kind of lay out what your game plan is. Like kind of like have like a nightly routine.
I need accountability with the gym. That's why I do starting strength, where they have one in the Springs.
If you know that about yourself, that's like my thing with jiu-jitsu is like I would love to have like, hey, why aren't you at class?
Because I'm paying for it, and I know if I'm paying for something, I'm not gonna not go. There's no way.
It's too painful to waste.
Yeah. I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, so it's like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm there. Which I wouldn't want to have to go there, sometimes squat and heavy weight. That's not exciting. That's like, oh, man.
Yeah. I think for me, staying in shape, it's going to have to be something fun. Like, I think that's why I'm going to do jiu-jitsu. I'm like, that's like,
wrestling was fun. I mean, it was a grind.
It was a grind, and that's the thing is like I think like jiu-jitsu or something like that would be great.
Wrestling and stand-up though are kind of similar if you think about it.
It's all you out there, man.
It's
You're 100%.
only you.
Yep.
You can't blame anyone else. You are putting so much, an immense amount of pressure. You talk about going for 300 people, fine. What about hand-to-hand combat in however many people where you're trying to dominate another person. Like, it's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you up, you know? You get there.
It's a very similar thing to fighting too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
and there's more. I like that there's more rules. I mean, I definitely, it's not like you see someone's gonna whip out a switchblade and you're gonna die.
Yeah. But yeah, like the thing is, like, it's like I talked with a lot of comedians that wrestled, and it's very common. It's because like the first guy I ever opened up for was Greg Warren. Greg Warren was an All-American wrestler at Mizzou. But yeah, like, wrestling is incredible. It's I'm gonna make my kids wrestle someday.
I've talked about it all the time, and I will. I'm trying to make them not have to cut weight. Though cutting weight is good for discipline, but then I talk about cutting weight, and then I'm 5 feet tall, so it's like, did it stunt my growth? I don't know. Would I have been taller?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. How tall are your parents?
We're pretty tall. My mom's 4'11" and my dad's 5'6".
Oh, well,
so
that makes sense.
Decent size.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm one of the tallest people in my family. Actually,
I am too.
And my mom.
Yeah,
at 5 feet tall.
Yeah, like, I'm the tallest Alexander in like a really long time.
Really?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
How tall are your parents?
Mom probably 5'7", Dad probably 5'9", 5'10".
I feel like people in rural areas are taller. I don't know why.
It might be, dude. Something in the water.
Yeah.
I grew up like right.
Is this considered rural?
No.
No? City?
Oh, it's a city, Colorado Springs. Yeah, it's great.
Did you like growing up here? It was good.
I did, man.
Yeah.
It was a fun time, man. I really enjoyed it. I really liked. It just felt like a normal.
You went to school out here too.
Yeah, I went to the classical academy. Me and Caleb did.
The classical academy.
Yeah, I went to a charter school. I had to wear uniforms. I was the dumbest person in my entire class.
You have to take a test to get in, or no?
No, you didn't have to pay a lot of money either. It just was like
there was a waiting list.
There was a
Was
waiting
it Christian?
list. No, not Christian, but it's Christian.
Yeah,
you know what I
okay.
mean? It's like you're not allowed to like say
Be
it.
Jewish, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed. No, it was Christian without saying it.
Okay.
So it's like everyone.
Like America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've been to Denver. That place is not.
Christian.
Christian.
It's not Christian.
Definitely not, dude. No, but definitely it was just like pretty strict. Academic standards very, very high. I did not live up to the academic standards. Like, I was pretty smart, but I was very good at talking. I wasn't good at writing, which is very interesting now that I do a job where it's like, oh, you're such a good writer. I'm like, you should tell that to every English teacher I've ever had.
Well, writing comedy is so different than writing prose, right?
Oh, 100%. Writing structure? Fuck you. I don't need that shit.
And you almost have to unlearn things because you want to be, you want to be concise.
Yeah, like anyone, by the way, this is a thing. If you are a comedian and you typed out your set word for word, you're a bad comedian. Do not type out your set word for word. Have basic bullet points and be present in the moment. Because it's like I've seen people that like write out the whole thing and then you get trapped. Then you get stuck looking at this big thick paper and you got to like bring yourself back in.
I do write out my set word.
I'm a piece of shit. No, Chet's great.
No. But the thing is, I will deviate from it. But I'll write it out because then like if something didn't hit, I'll refer back to that and be like. And if I say something better, I'll change it. In there, and then because I'll try to be loose when I'm upstage, but I do want to know like if I don't do well, what my optimal wording was when I did well, and then try to.
Yeah, but I just listen back to my set
for sure. But I'll listen back, and if something didn't hit, I'll be like, did I say it here? How did I say it? But I will try to be looser, especially at mics, to be like, let me try to say it another way.
Dude,
but I'm not a. I know it wasn't Chet.
Everyone has a different process. No, I'm ignorant.
No, it might be right, and I think sometimes I sound robotic, so I've been working on different but I also talk about inflections. Man.
Comedy is a wet business. Like you got to flow. You got to be able to hop in and out. Like obviously you can't just kind of like robot your jokes, and you can still crush, but it's about inflection.
Yeah.
They can tell. Like if you're able to capitalize on those moments and know like, hey, I inflected this word in the right way, that's going to be the difference.
So I have a lot of good friends that are musicians, and they've kind of like, I'll play a set, and at first they were like, you have a lot of upwards inflections. So I made it a point to try to vary how I deliver each punch, and that elevated things. But like having someone who's a singer, think about how you perform the comedy is genius because it's like, oh, you need to manipulate, your voice differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of my big skills is that I'm very big. I'm very like loud.
Yeah.
So it's like it's easy for me to capture attention a lot of the time. So like capitalizing on inflection is a big differentiator. Like if you watch a really great headliner, most of the time anyone you're going to see that's headlining has really good jokes. The difference between someone crushing and someone doing okay is usually inflection and delivery. It's because like when you get to a certain level, usually most people have pretty good jokes. Usually it's like you have jokes that are usually going to get an applause.
Yeah, they should be well written, I would hope. Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, it's just like it's those different things and those different systems you have to be able to create for yourself. To be able to check back and be like, how am I selling this bit right? Yeah, it's like I just watched the roast of Sam Talent.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very funny. It was very good. And there was Christy Buckley was like roasting Sam Talent. It was like he is all confidence and no jokes, which I'm like he's a lot of swag. He's a lot of confidence, which is very true. And the thing is, you can get away with a lot of that if you are that just funny, because just confidence and just like selling bits. Because like there's people I know that are very good at selling jokes, and that's a skill within itself, and I respect that. And then there's people that are just really, really good writers, and you want to try to be both. If you like it, that's something like I'm not the best writer. I can sell jokes pretty good, so it's like I can lean on people that are really good writers, and I can talk to those people that are like really regimented and disciplined in terms of the writing process. Then on my own, I know that I can sell jokes and I can like kind of riff and make things up and be funny too. You want to be able to be well-rounded and have as many tools in the tool belt as you can.
Hell yeah. Kind of renaissance man when it comes to it, and there's so many different flavors. It's really touching upon all those. So that's tight. What so you have your goals. What are you looking forward to anything the most?
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to Adam Ray at Comedy Works. That's gonna be dope. That's probably the biggest shows of my life, probably.
Well, you're
yeah, I'm opening. Yeah, wow. Not hosting, but I'm guest spots. Wow. I just hit up Adam Ray, and they're like,
you know him?
Yeah, I open up for him at 3E's.
Oh,
yeah, man, that's great. That's the thing. It's just like
you hit him up, and you're like, hey, you're coming here.
I was like, hey, is there any way I can do a guest spot? They're like, hey, if it's cool with Comedy Works, cool with me. I'm like, let's fucking go. And then I'm like, please. And then Roger's like, yeah, it's fine. You got freaking third at Comedy Works. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, sick, dude. Yeah, but yeah, dude, Adam Ray's the man. He's a very, very good dude.
Yeah, that's really funny. He's have you seen his like Dr. Phil stuff?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I was there when he was pitching it. We talked about it on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like he showed me the voicemail with Bill Burr. It was very funny. But yeah, he just crushed it. He's very, very good. So that's probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most. What about you? What are you looking forward to the most?
Well, I was really looking forward to Japan in general.
That's so sweet.
That was a really cool piece. It's more about like I really want to put together 30 minutes by the end of this year that flows and I get to try. That's my big goal. It's a certain amount of time and a good set, and then I think that'll unlock a lot more opportunities and just getting better. Nothing too crazy. I mean, the pod's good. Hopefully we'll shoot season 2. Running rooms, life, love, all of it,
That's so good. I'm so happy to hear that, man. I just think you're very, very smart, and you're crushing right now in terms of everything you're doing. That's huge. Like that's how you get opportunity. You got to make it yourself, and then like invite people in, man. That's huge.
And giving stage time to people, I really enjoy that because I've been able to give at least some guest spots to people that I see grind at the mics. They're there, They're there. They're getting better. If I could give them 5 minutes that in front of a crowd, that'll mean a lot to them.
Definitely, man.
People gave me opportunities, so I want to give people opportunities.
That's huge. Pay it forward, man. Yeah. Like I also with working on that 30 minutes of material. I talked with Johnny Bradsfield last night.
Yeah.
And he just went and he told me it's like the best way to make sure you have 30 minutes is you just split it into 2 15s.
2 15s? 2
15s and then work on the first 15 and then get on your second 15 and then
but like an opener and closer for both?
Yep. Like you want to think about it like because you want to have like 3 great jokes. Like 3 jokes that are like applause break ready jokes that you can split. Like you have one at the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end.
Oh, so you put that one in the... Okay, I got you.
So you want it to flow like like high. You know, they're
one in the middle too. That's an interesting thing when you think about the 30. Okay.
Yeah, so you want to have almost like you're building like two separate sets almost. Like you're building like, okay, this is the first one. I was like, oh, I know this joke's pretty good. Not the best, but it will pass. And then put those in the middle. Because it's not like every single joke you have in a special is like the best joke.
So you clump. So you would clump subject matter on 115 and clump subject matter on another.
Absolutely, and that's how you break it down.
215s. I like that. I like that a lot.
That'd be a good lesson to do, especially if you're getting like 15s often. I'd hit up people to run your 15s. It's
so annoying. Not annoying, but there's so many 10s and so many fewer 15s. I feel like to go around.
That's true.
So it'd be nice to be like, hey, I'm really trying.
That's why weekends are great. Like I just did weekend of 10s, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Like every single show was just like good. It feels normal.
I may do 3 10s and figure out how the second 15 could go in there.
Dude, I try to get a weekend. That'd be a good move. I'd go DM some bookers. Also, please ask for stage time. Like anyone that tells you not to is not. If you're bad, then definitely don't. But if you're fine. You're fine hitting up people for sure.
I have no I imagine if some people look at I have no complaints of how much I get booked. People are very cool to me.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah. I've never been like, I've never been like, man, I really should be booked more. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, that's cool.
You're like, yeah, that's fine.
That's nice.
Stage time is stage time. It's
I
also
get
like
enough
the difference
time.
between doing like Oscar Blues tonight and doing like another room. It's not that big of a difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Dude, is there anything else you want to close out on? Any other topics anything you want to plug?
You know what? Well, I do have I don't know when this is going to air, but I do have this Thursday. I have Who's on First Draft. No, I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful for the friendship and coming out
brother.
here.
Yeah, so. Dude. Welcome down.
Maybe some Whataburger later too.
Yeah, dude, we can get some Whataburgers, man. I just gotta rip a piss.
All right.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Mr. Chet.
Thanks for having me.
Good episode. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
For sure.
Awesome. Yeah, have a good one, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
What do you think? It's solid?
Good podcast, man.
All right, cool.